Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, we do appreciate that. Thank you for it. If you're checking this out later, please remember we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. You can check them out there. We have audio and video versions. They are free. Getting into it this morning, you're looking at some delays on your on-ramps getting onto I-12. But I-12 is flowing, always a good sign. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central with some delays at 190, 4H Club Road, and River Road, so keep an eye out for that. It's currently 76 degrees. 92 degrees is your high today. 76, again, your overnight low. Looking at a 40% chance of rain about 2 p.m. this afternoon, so if you haven't started heading into work yet today, please remember, grab an umbrella or a poncho before you head out. We're looking at some more rain, and pardon me, got to scratch my eye here. We're looking at some more rain, much like yesterday, but it should be this afternoon. Now, yesterday it started early in the morning, kind of continued throughout the day. Today, it is being reported that it will start this afternoon. You're looking at 40% starting at about 2 p.m. So please remember that. Be prepared heading into work. Before we get into your coronavirus today, we got a couple of things to talk about. One, qualifying begins for the November 3rd election. It kind of snuck up on everybody. 51 local seats, some of them at large, so you'll have multiple people that sign up. Not going to keep you guys informed as to who qualifies each day on the show. I will refer you to a story that'll have a full list of everybody that's qualifying day over day. Next Monday, we will talk about everybody that qualified to run for that race and what you're looking at in those races. There are a ton. It's going to be a packed ballot this fall. Please remember there's also probably going to be some constitutional amendments from the legislative session, as well as the road tax, among some other things. And excuse me, I'm lagging out a little bit here. There we go. So please remember qualifying has begun. If you are interested in qualifying, we do have a link to the Secretary of State's website. Please go make sure that you are qualified to run. And then you can go sign up at the Livingston Parish Clerk of Court's office in Livingston. It's open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily, but please, if you can, try to call ahead, see what's going on with the traffic there. You can only go in a certain number at a time due to COVID-19 restrictions, because remember, there's also staff there to help get you signed up, so that limited numbers are allowed in at any given point. Again, 51 local seats up for election, so it is going to be in many places a packed ballot. Some of those races are hyper-local, but there are quite a few races going on across Livingston Parish. Wildlife and Fisheries is seeking a pontoon boat that was involved in an accident over the weekend on Lake Maurepas. About 10:30 p.m. Saturday, a bass boat on southern Lake Maurepas was bow fishing when a pontoon boat ran right across the front of their boat, launched 2 people out, injured all 3. They were sent to the hospital. They have been released. Wildlife and Fisheries is looking for a pontoon boat that is damaged. Unfortunately, no pictures exist. No real leads at this point. So if you've heard anything about it up to this point, please contact Wildlife and Fisheries. Getting in your COVID-19 statistics, 96,583 cases, 3,498 deaths, 53,288 have recovered. 1,122,962 tests on 1,527 hospitalizations with 186 ventilators in use. In Livingston Parish, 2,043 cases, 44 deaths on 19,788 tests. Getting into your mitigation efforts real quick, wear a mask in public. It is a mandate. Wash hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more, 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. Control your cough and sneezing with an elbow or a tissue, preferably your own elbow. Don't touch your face, my favorite one. 25 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Stay home if you're sick, and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. Stay home to work if at all possible. Yesterday, the governor did announce that Phase 2 will be extended to August 7th. That's 2 weeks. That also lines up with school reopening here in Livingston Parish. So right now, schools are prepared to open in Phase 2. Maybe we move to Phase 3 that week, which would be interesting because that would mean the schools would open in Phase 3. Of course, there is a Phase 1 plan, a Phase 2 plan, and a Phase 3 plan for the schools. We talked about it on Monday with Superintendent Joe Murphy. Would absolutely recommend that you go check out that podcast. We're also looking for any questions that you felt like we didn't answer. We know that one is what's going to happen in classrooms, or really in schools in general, in one individual school, if there is a positive test and a positive result for COVID-19, either in a child or in a student. A child or in a teacher. So we're going to try to get the clarification answer for that among some other questions that have filtered in. But please recommend you go to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. Check that one out. It is 52 minutes. A lot of good information in there. There's still some things that are missing. We'd love to get your questions and try to get those answered. But again, phase 2 lasting another 2 weeks. The governor's looking to try to give those masks a chance. And so we're looking at another 2 weeks of data. Now, one of the things that kind of offered a glimmer of hope yesterday during his press conference is he said, after communication with the federal task force headed by Vice President Mike Pence, the word is that you don't have to go backwards in phases. You can try to figure out with the data what to close. That's why the governor did not move back to phase 1. He just closed down bars and issued a mask mandate. So trying to find different ways to continue to go forward without having to stop everything and move backward in phases. So the federal task force is kind of moving or trying to get states to move that direction, to be restrictive on places that they consider hotspots, but at the same time trying to keep the state moving forward. So there is a chance that schools will open in phase 3. Right now, they are prepared to open in phase 2. Of course, phase 2 has some effect on sports. LHSAA's Karen Hoyt, who of course was a coach and administrator at Albany, is now at LHSAA. She was hopeful about the comments that the governor made yesterday, and part of them were the comments that he made about not having to go backward. Good sign for the state. They don't want to go backward. They're just trying to find good ways to move forward safely, especially, again, with the mask mandate and the bars being closed. They're trying to find those hot spots where things are ramping up. So right now, we could potentially be in phase 3 for that first full week of school. So keep that in mind. We'll be looking for a follow-up press conference from the governor regarding that Monday that week. So August 7th is a Thursday. That's when, we're having a little lag here. August 7th is a Thursday, so that's when that is going to run out. We'll learn that Monday, so 7th, 6th, 5th, 3rd. Monday, August 3rd, we will learn what the fate's going to be in terms of phase 2 or phase 3 moving into schools. Again, the schools do have different plans for each phase. Recommend you check out that podcast. However, on the school side, Steve Perrell, who's sort of the overall director of athletics for the system, is still worried about the numbers. The system itself is still concerned that perhaps we'll move backwards. Again, the governor said, I'm having some internet trouble. There we go. The governor did say that that the state does not want to do that. They do not want to go backwards in phases. They will continue to try to find ways to attack these hotspots as they pop up to try to keep them low. So, or try to keep those rises in numbers low. So please, hopefully, there's, hope is not a strategy, but we're hoping that things will continue to move forward. Even if we get into phase 2 with school starting, that's still a hybrid between at-home learning and on-campus learning. And then, of course, with phase 3, schools are going to be, for the most part, open, and kids are going to be going to school. So please remember to wear a mask in public. We're trying to curb the spread, trying to get those case numbers down, and trying to stay. Oh, there I go again. Man, I'm having trouble. I do apologize, folks. Having some trouble this morning with the old connection. Excuse me. Trying to get into phase 3, which would be the sweet spot for the schools, and of course, and would be the sweet spot. Would also be the sweet spot for sports as well. So please remember, try to wear that mask. Try to practice those mitigation efforts. Trying to help these kids out, especially getting back into school. Livingston Parish's surge testing site, which is in Livingston at the governmental offices, will remain open indefinitely, according to Ms. Janes at the Livingston Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. It is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. The goal is 60,000 tests to be performed. You do not need an ID. You do not need a note from your doctor. You just need an email and a phone number. and from that point, you will show up. Excuse me, and as long as you've pre-registered, you'll get cycled through. Now, I believe if you haven't pre-registered, you will need an ID at the testing site. So please remember that. But you do not have to show any symptoms. The governor said that yesterday. If you feel like you may have been around someone, if you feel like you may have been exposed, go get tested. Of course, if you are feeling the symptoms, it is very important for you to go get tested because that starts leading into getting with your doctor and being available for the hospital if you need to go to the hospital later. So please remember, testing site open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily at the Livingston Parish governmental offices. It is being operated by the National Guard. Getting back into these COVID statistics real quick, 96,583 cases, 3,498 deaths, 53,288 have recovered on 1,122,962 tests. 1,527 are hospitalized on 186 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, 2,043 cases, 44 deaths on 19,788 tests. Now, we talked about those mitigation efforts and how you can help get those kids back to school. Let's do it real quick. Wear a mask in public. Wash your hands for 20 seconds or more. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. Control your cough and sneezing with an elbow or a tissue. 25 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Don't touch your face. And stay home, my favorite one, and stay home if you're sick and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. There are on-ramp delays, getting back into your traffic real quick, there are on-ramp delays on I-12 at Range, Juban, and 447. I-12 itself is flowing. Looking at some minor delays on 64 heading into Central, as well as some delays at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190. It's currently 76 degrees. 92 degrees is your high, 76 your overnight low. 40% chance of rain starting around 2 p.m. So please remember an umbrella or a poncho. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month. We are also online, as mentioned, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have a coronavirus page, which is free, a breaking news page, which is state and federal news, which is free. We also have a podcast page, which has these and our long-form podcast. It is free as well. Going to be sitting down with Parish Councilman Randy DeLatte from District 8, which is the Killian Springfield area, to talk about drainage here in a couple hours. We should get that out this afternoon. So something a little different, off the beaten path from coronavirus, trying to mix it up a little bit. And then we will be back with you tomorrow morning. So we do hope you have a great day. Please remember to try to stay dry, and we will see you Thursday morning.